All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel, Bet Vetted channel. I'm Al, your host, and today we're going to go over the Match Day 3 Champions League matchups taking place on Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. We have 9 matchups today, 9 matchups tomorrow. We're going to go over each and every game, and we're going to give you our best bet for each one of these matchups. Of course, if you like this content, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button, hitting that notification bell. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, in our first matchup, we're going to take a look at Monaco going up against Red Star Belgrade. And I do like Monaco in this matchup. I like them to on the money line plus over 2.5 goals. Or excuse me, I like them. I like that bet, but I also like Monaco and both teams to score. I think Red Star can certainly get on the board here. Obviously, Monaco has an excellent home record, been doing very well in League One, and of course, on the other hand, you have Red Star Belgrade who pretty much dominates their league there in Serbia. So. Um, I definitely think this is a matchup where Monaco is going to come on top, probably score at least 2 goals. I do like Monaco and both teams to score as my best bet on this one in order to maximize the value. All right, next matchup we have AC Milan going up against Club Brugge of Belgium, and AC Milan coming off 2 losses in its previous 2 matchups in the Champions League. Club Brugge, on the other hand, won their last game against Sturm Graz, which is probably one of the worst, lower teams in the competition. Regardless, they won that one 1-0. They've been playing okay in the Belgian Pro League. Not having as good of a season as they did last year. AC Milan, on the other hand, coming off a 1-0 victory over the weekend, and this is a club that plays better at home, but that still, in my opinion, struggles to score goals. Who the hell has Rafael Leao been this year? He's a really, really good player, but he's just not been informed this season. That happens, with many players in the game of football. But I'm still looking for him to show up. Obviously, Christian Pulisic has been their number one goal scorer this year, and he's been playing real well. But what I like in this matchup, as far as the best bet is concerned, is under 2.5 goals. I see this being a low scoring affair, maybe a 1-0 victory from AC Milan, maybe a 1-1 draw. But and it could be 2-0 to AC Milan. I don't want to count out Club Brugge in this. That's why I am going with the under 2.5 goals and making a bet on the total rather than the side. So, heck, this could be a 1-0 Club Brugge victory for all I know. But if I were to take a side, I probably would take AC Milan. They're just the more proven squad in this competition, as well as being at home. Right next up, we have Girona going up against Slovan Bratislava. Um, and guys, I'm trying to go through these quickly, obviously, because I'm late posting this as always. But what I like in this one is with the banged up Girona side, a side that's been struggling in the Champions League so far. They actually have 3 own goals, which is, I don't know if it's a record, but it's certainly the most in terms of own goals of all the teams in the tournament right now. Um, but that aside, Girona is dealing with quite a bit of injuries at this time. They are playing at home. I still like the Girona side. Obviously, I don't like them as much as as last year when they had Savio and um, Dovbik, however you pronounce his name, went over to Roma. I still like Girona probably to pick up this victory, but what I do like is the best bet is Slovan +2. Not my favorite bet on the board here, but I think if Girona wins, they'll probably only win by 1 goal. If they win by 2 goals, you won't win this one. But I think this is worth it. I don't necessarily see a draw. I just see Girona winning by 1 goal. So Slovan +2. All right, next up, guys, we have Arsenal going up against Shakhtar of Ukraine. Arsenal, which I'll mention in passing, that's my favorite team there of the Premier League, and they are coming off a very gut-wrenching 2-0 loss over the weekend to Bournemouth on the south coast there of England when they lost William Saliba in the first half to a red card. He'll miss their next league game but he will be available for this game here in the Champions League. This is one of those matchups where it's kind of difficult to pick a bet that I like, and really the reason for that is Arsenal is missing quite a few pieces here. They're missing Saka, they're missing Odegaard, which are two of their biggest playmakers and goal scorers for that matter. So, um, there's some people that think that Arsenal's going to put on 3, 4 goals. I could see three. I don't know about four. I actually like the Shakhtar side, and I bet on them a couple times. And of course, they burn me in this competition. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go back to my old bag of tricks here. I'm gonna pull out the first half Arsenal money line plus under 2.5 goals. That's gonna be my best bet for this matchup. I think Arsenal will at least score 1 goal in the first half, maybe two. Hopefully not three. I really see Arsenal probably putting up a clean sheet in this one against Shakhtar. I looked at that as a possibility, but I just don't like. Again, these are all about plus 100 bets um, on these videos. Until that changes, I'll let you guys know. At some point, I am going to be doing a low risk and high risk bet, but for this one, I'm going to go with Arsenal money line first half plus under 2.5 goals. All right, moving forward to Juventus versus Stuttgart. One of my favorite bets on the table. Juventus is doing a really good job in Serie A, and I really like this squad. I think that they're undervalued in this matchup from a betting perspective. I don't think I don't know, they're just not getting enough respect. Um, Based on what they've already done in this competition, which is win their first two matches. And Stuttgart is, a good squad in their own right. I just don't think they're quite on the quality level of a Juventus. So my best bet for this one is going to be Juventus plus under 3.5 goals. One other way to do this, guys, is just to take Juventus on the money line, okay, and get that plus 100. Get even money for your bet. If you don't want to worry about the total, okay, then just take Juventus on the money line. If you want to get a little bit more bang for your buck, take Juventus plus under 3.5 goals. Juventus, they're a little bit different than they were last year. They are not as low scoring of a team. So this bet does have some risk associated with it. It's one of my favorite bets on the table. I hope it comes through for me. This is one of those ones that I'm going to be betting on with my own money as well. But, if you're worried about that, just take Juventus on the money line at plus 100. I think that's more than worth it as well. So I'll take Juventus plus under 3.5 to get that one plus 185. But I have no issues with someone taking Juventus on the money line at plus 100. All right, next up we have Aston Villa going up against Bologna. This is another matchup where I like the money line and under 3.5 goals. I would favor Aston Villa in this one. I think Bologna just doesn't have enough firepower to compete with a squad like Aston Villa, which is very much in form. Have two excellent strikers in Ali Watkins and super sub John Duran. Leon Bailey is back on the side, healthy, and I just like Aston Villa to pull this one off at home. Bologna has only won one of their last five matches. They've drawn three and lost one. And, I just like Aston Villa in this in a low scoring affair, under 3.5 goals. Aston Villa money line and under 3.5 goals. All right, in this next matchup, we have Sturm going up against Sporting of Lisbon. And I'm really going to sound like a broken record now because I like Sporting and under 3.5 goals. Sporting has just been on a roll since last year in the Premier League and Portugal. Sturm has, their last two games, they've actually scored 5 goals apiece. So I was half tempted to go with both teams to score in like an under or over combination. I was looking at maybe Stern or both teams to score and under 4.5 goals. But, I'm just worried that Sturm isn't able to get on the board here. Obviously, these European competitions are a whole different animal than the Austrian Bundesliga. With that being said, I'm going to go with Sporting under 3.5. And next up, we have the matchup of the day, the rematch of the 2024 Champions League final. Real Madrid going up against Borussia Dortmund. And this is going to be a good one, folks. And I tell you this, Real Madrid's coming off a 2-1 victory over Celta Vigo. They have really not impressed this year. Okay, not at all. In fact, bringing in Mbappe and having guys like Jude Bellingham and Vinicius and you know uh, just on and on. This team is loaded, but they just haven't showed up, and I think it's just taken time to gel. We've seen this with a lot of teams over the years. The Cleveland Cavaliers took a while. I remember that first season in 2014. A lot of people were thinking, what's going on? They wanted David Blatt's head, so on and so forth. This, that, and a third. I think it's just going to take time to gel. But looking at this particular matchup, with Real Madrid coming off a 1-0 loss in their previous matchup against Lille, Real Madrid's going to be a little bit pissed off in this one, okay? That's not to discount Dortmund in any fashion, but I just think that Real Madrid's going to come out. They're playing at home. They're going to come out with something to prove. I do see Dortmund getting on the board, but what I like for this one is Real Madrid on the money line plus both teams to score. Plus 155. Listen, I think that's a good bet. The only worry that I have is that this is going to be another low scoring affair like the final, but I don't think we're going to see that because it isn't a final. It's match day 3. I think these teams are going to both go for it, play a little bit loose, a little bit more direct, and not, you know, buckle up too much in terms of the defensive stuff. These guys are going to go out there and try to score goals. So give me Real Madrid on the money line plus both teams to score. All right, and last up we have PSG going up against PSV. And as you guys know, if you watch my videos before, you know I like picking the unders and the money line rather than the overs and the money line, and that's just because the value has come to uh, uh, blow up in my face on a certain occasion. But I do like PSG and under 3.5 goals. PSG is engaged in a lot of low scoring affairs in the Champions League, and I think that trend will continue in this one. Both of these teams can score, but I don't think it's likely that that's going to happen in this game. So I like PSG and under 3.5 goals. Really like this bet. And I suggest you throw some money that way as well. The other one that I like is under 2.5 goals, and you can get in the 200s for that one. Um, Apparently, they think there's going to be some goals in this game. Me, not so much. I'll go with PSG and under 3.5. All right, that's it, guys. That's all I got for you. As always, thank you for listening in. If you like this content, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button, hitting the notification bell so you know when we drop our next video. But until then, guys and gals, peace out.